You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Here we go.
Welcome back to the GrantCast, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Baciocco, and I don't know, I'm trying something a little different today. A little bit of a new format, a little bit of, not a new format, but just a new idea. Here's the thing. I have a journal, and I probably have talked about this on the podcast before, maybe not. But Jim Henson did a thing called Jim's Red Book, where he just wrote down things that happened to the Muppets, important little milestones, and it wasn't even every day. It was just when important little milestones happen, he would just write one line in a book. And ever since I heard about that, I have started doing, I guess you could call it Grant's Black Book, because it's a black book. But I have done tons of I've done 4 or 5 of these where all I do is I just write down what creative things I've done that day. And it's usually just a line. It's just like one little line. It's like, did a Toily live stream. That's it. And then if I've done a couple things that day, I'll write down each one of those on a line. If I've only done one thing, I did only one thing. But the goal was, when I started, was to make it, do at least one creative thing each day. So that being said, I have kept track of this for years and years and years, and I thought what I could do as sort of GrantCast fodder material in between all the stupid sketches and the essay type things and all that kind of stuff is look back over the past week. I'm not going back years or anything, but look over the past week and just talk about creative things accomplished, creative challenges, things that have come up, rants, raves, all that kind of stuff. So this is the first time I'm doing that. If you like this, let me know via one of the many ways you can let me know, and we can go forward. Or if you think this is boring and it is a waste of time, then let me know that as well. And I will go back to putting out little sketches every 5 months or so. This week, what has been going on? Well, I have a Patreon, and I'm not saying that to plug the Patreon, but hey, patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. And when I first set up the Patreon page, and I've been posting to this page for a mighty long time now, super grateful for all my patrons. When you post something to Patreon, you can put a tag. And when I first started posting things to Patreon, I thought, well, use every single tag you can possibly use. And now that the way that Patreon displays your page is they have the tags all up on the top, on top of all the posts. So if you click on this thing, there's just a million tags. So what I've been doing for the past couple weeks has been going in and streamlining the tags. And so my first thing was like, one tag will be the name of the show, because there's different shows on my Saturday morning. There's Under the Puppet, there's Attraction Checklist, there's GrantCast, all that other kind of stuff. So it'll be the name of the show, the year that it was released, those are the two main things, right? And then when I first started doing this, I was like, oh, you know what? I'll put the format of what it is. So if it's a video, I'll put the word video. If it's an audio thing, I'll put the word audio. So for several weeks, I went through and I did this. And then one day when I was looking at the page, I saw that Patreon has its own little thing separate from the tags that says, like, I don't know what it's called. It's like format or something like that, where they break it down into audio, video, pictures, all this other stuff. So I was like, okay, I don't need those tags anymore. And I was putting like crazy tags like podcast. It's like you don't need podcast as a tag. So anyway, so I've been going through, I've been streamlining. The tags that I use are the name of the show, the year the show was released, and if it's Disney related, so like for Country Bear Collector Show or Attraction Checklist, I will put the keyword Disney, because I think it's always good to have the keyword Disney, because you'll probably come up in search engines. If you search the word Disney, none of my stuff is going to come up on the first 10 pages. But you never know what something hits. So I do put Disney. And then I've been taking out the word podcast. I've been taking out the word audio, been taking out the word video, been taking out just everything I can think of that I can take out to streamline the tags. And I've become a little obsessive about it, because at the top of your Patreon page, above the posts where it shows the tags, it shows the number of posts that are tagged with that tag. So right now, with like over 500 posts at the time of this recording, is the word podcast. Well, I'm slowly getting rid of all those, right? So eventually there will be no tag that's podcast. But I've become obsessed about it in so much that I have to have that be a round number. So like I'll do 10 at a time. I'll go through and do 10 at a time and change the tags so that the next time I look at the main page and refresh it, the podcast has 10 less. You know, it's not like some even number or some odd number where, I mean, I guess it's an even number, but it's not some random, 451. It's not that. It's always has a 0 at the end. And but the tricky thing is then I will go into just where all the other tags are listed, and I'll just pick one. Like I'm changing attraction checklist is binaural audio, which means it's recorded in stereo so that if you're wearing headphones, it'll sound like you are moving through the attraction. Shout out to Window to the Magic for inspiring me to do that. The Window to the Magic podcast, check them out. And so for a lot of those posts, I just put the word binaural. And then I was thinking, when I was redoing all these tags, I was like, oh, you know what? People might not know what binaural means. So maybe I'll put binaural audio. So now I'm going back through, putting binaural audio, removing binaural. But when I go to a post that has binaural, it could also still have podcast and audio in there as well, and other tags that I don't want. So it's just this good thing where it's just like, I'm going to sit down and do 10 of these. And then it becomes, I wind up doing 30 of them because some of them I have this binaural audio. Anyway, so I become obsessive with streamlining the Patreon page updates. And it always is the way. It's like once I've done 100 of these posts and I've streamlined them and got the tags to where I want them, I realize, oh, you know what? I really don't need this tag. So then I have to go back through all of them again. And I should just forget about it and move forward. But I kind of want, when people come to the page, things to be clear. So it's like, oh, I just want attraction checklist episodes. Here's all the attraction checklist episodes. I can click this tag. It'll show all those episodes. Now Patreon has to let us do feeds based on those tags, but I don't think they will ever do that. So good part of this week, and I do this kind of like downtime. It's like in between projects. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do quick 10 of these posts. So not entirely creative work, but supporting my creative work. The other big news this week is that Toily hit 3 million on TikTok. Yay! Finally! It took so long to go from 2.9 to 3 million. And I think the part of that was there was an algorithm change in there. I could talk forever about how annoying things were, but Toily was zooming. Toily was just getting 10, there was 1 or 2 days where it was like, oh my God, he got 15,000 followers today. And then they just changed the algorithm. And then it was like a struggle to get views and to get people to see Toily's videos. But anyway, if you look at Toily's TikTok page, it will say Toily Tea Paper, 3 million followers. Now here's the dirty little secret. He doesn't really have 3 million followers. TikTok likes to round up. So what he's done is passed 2.95 million followers. And so they round up once you hit that point, So anyway, that's cool. The other frustrating thing is on Instagram, Toily had at the beginning of this week 175,000 Instagram followers. And then something happened. Either they cleaned out bots, or I posted a poop word of the day video that people didn't like, or whatever. But I lost a ton of followers and fell down underneath. I fell back to 174, and couldn't quite figure out why that happened. I would think that Instagram probably purged a lot of bots, because that's usually what happens. But then I posted a poop word of the day video that was float a butt nugget. I think that was the poop word of the day. And that one like took off. And then all of a sudden now Toily has 176,000. So you can't think about those numbers because those numbers will just drive you up the wall because they are absolutely crazy. Here's another thing that's driven me up the wall. Toily is on Cameo. And I, do okay on Cameo. I've made about, since joining Cameo in October of 2019, made probably about $10,000 on Cameo, have raised a lot of money for charity on Cameo. I like Cameo. Cameo's fun. And one of my favorite things about Cameo is they have this little service called Cameo Calls. And basically what Cameo Calls is, I can set up a time period, a day of the week with a time period where I'm going to take video calls. Toily's going to take video calls from fans, and I can say how long it's going to be. I can say how much I'm going to charge for it, and how long the calls are going to be, how much to charge for it, all that stuff. And so every Sunday for probably over a year, Toily has done Cameo calls, and usually there's like on the sometimes I'll do free Cameo calls where there's no charge, and those always sell out. So I'll talk to like 15. Toily will talk to 15 people in a row. But sometimes there's like 5 callers or something like that where I do the ones where I charge for them. And I don't charge that much. It was $4 for 3 minutes. It was $3 for 3 minutes, but then I bumped it up a little bit. But people still would, like 4 or 5 people would call and talk to Toily. And some people would call even like every week. And it was like a great, almost like catch-up time. It was like talking to your friend. So I loved these Cameo calls. They were really great. Well, last Sunday, I did Cameo calls, and as I always do, I set up new Cameo calls for today, Sunday. I'm recording this on Sunday the 4th. And so yesterday, I was going to promote the Cameo calls, and you can do that by going in the app, and they give you a special link that you can tweet out or post on Instagram or whatever to get people to sign up and buy tickets. And look in the app, I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. It's not listed anywhere. It's not in where it normally is. So I have to make sure that I have the most recent version of the app. I have to reboot my phone. I still can't find it. So I reached out to my friend Troy Murphy, who is he is the puppeteer behind All Felt No Filter, who does quit his job doing cameos with puppets. He's a genius. The guy's a genius. And I said, I have lost my ability to do Cameo calls, and I had one scheduled. And he said, "Oh, didn't you get the email? They got rid of Cameo calls." And I said, "What? They got rid of Cameo calls?" And he goes, "Yeah, they're not going to do them. They're doing this thing called Cameo Live now." Now, Toily was involved when they were beta testing Cameo Live, and here's what Cameo Live is. Cameo Live is you pay a high price to book a time to talk to a celebrity for 10 minutes. So you're committed to this 10-minute time limit thing. But then you can send the link to 8 other people. So it'll be you and 8 of your friends and the celebrity. So all 10 of you chatting for 10 minutes. And so they asked if Toily wanted to be part of this, and I said, sure. And then they go, okay, well, your price is going to be $150 for one of these calls. And I said, well, no one's going to buy these calls because I know my fans. I know Toily's fans, and I love Toily's fans, and Toily's fans are awesome, but Toily's fans skew younger. They do not have $150 to set aside to talk to Toily for 10 minutes on whatever this Zoom call is. So, anyway, so now in the Cameo app, that option is turned off for me because they were probably like, oh, this guy didn't sell any, so get rid of him. But this email that went out, Troy showed me the email, says we're really excited about Cameo Live, so we're going to do Cameo Live instead of Cameo Calls. And I think this is a mistake, and here's why. Me, personally, Grant Baciocco, I would rather talk to a celebrity one-on-one for 1 minute than be in a big chat room with 8 other people who, admittedly, I would probably know, and the celebrity, and talk to them for 10 minutes. I think a one-on-one personal interaction is much more fun and much more engaging and much more worth it than to than to do this Cameo live thing. And so I'm looking for an alternative where Toily can do video calls like this. Maybe there's another app. I'm also looking into possibly I could do them myself, because Toily has this thing called a Stan Store, where he can kind of sell video greetings directly to the fans. So we'll see. I don't know. I was really bummed. About that, because I really liked those Cameo calls, and I could do them anywhere as long as I had Toily with me. I could do them anywhere. And finally, on my list to talk about what happened this week is Twitch. Toily does live streams on TikTok, does live streams on YouTube. Occasionally we'll do live streams on Instagram, not often, because Instagram, for whatever reason, refuses to monetize Toily, so I'm not really big on giving them a ton of content if they're not going to pay me at least a little something. So I've been trying Twitch. I have a lot of friends, not a lot of friends, but I have several friends who are very successful at Twitch. Dan Ring, Bill Larkin, just really genius people who know how to work Twitch. And Twitch, to me, is very frustrating, and I don't know what it is. I don't know, and it's just got to be something about the way the platform is laid out. I can live stream to YouTube by myself, controlling everything, no problem. Same thing with TikTok. Live stream by myself, no problem. Twitch, for some reason, I feel I need a crew of 10 people sitting in front of computers, dedicated computers to different aspects of Twitch in order to control it. And last night I had this idea. And I also, part of it is I don't know what Toily's Twitch show is. Like, Toily's Sunday morning YouTube show is all about fan interaction. Toily's TikTok is just about when he's doing a TikTok live stream with John, it's about music and playing games. And if he's just doing a regular TikTok live stream, it's just interacting with people. And so it's like, well, what is the Twitch show? Like, what is the thing about the Twitch show? And I know Twitch is a gaming platform, so I've played games, but anyway, what is this Twitch? What is Twitch for Toily? And then I was like, you know what I want to do? Well, what I would really love to do is interview people, but I haven't been able to set up interviews yet. But what I wanted to do stunts. There's a radio show I listen to called 7 Second Delay, a podcast I listen to. It's a radio show, but it's a podcast. And they just come up with these really funny ideas of like what they're going to do for that hour. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to come up with ideas for Toily. So I thought this fun idea would be that Toily starts the hour by saying, all right, listen, everybody in the chat, at the end of this hour, I am going to buy one of you something off of eBay and have it sent to you. And then here's the rules. It's got to be under $25. The shipping has to be reasonable, so it can't be like a $2 thing with like a $60 shipping charge or whatever. And then the whole idea was that in the chat, people would really have to plead their case. So we would say like, okay, you want this Funko Pop or whatever it is. Why do you need this Funko Pop? And then really have them describe, and then put two people kind of against each other and have the chat vote, like who deserves their thing more, and then almost do like a March Madness tournament where you get to the end, at the end of the hour, you have one person and they really want this thing, and all the chat feels that they deserve this thing. And so this was an idea I had for the show literally less than an hour before the show started, and that was the mistake. It's a fun idea. It's an idea that I think can work, but not flying by the seat of your pants trying it for the first time, because it did not work. And in fact, Toily just bailed on the idea about 10 minutes into it and just said, sorry, we're going to work on this. We're going to get it going, and then we'll figure out what we're doing. And then I had a good live stream this morning. I'm trying to think of other things that happened this week. I mean, I'm complaining about things, but it's more the frustrations of being a creator and creating things than the stuff getting me down. But there you go. I am grateful for everyone who supports Toily. I am grateful for Steven Staver, my amazing editor, who just cranks out so much stuff for podcasts, for Toily, just a genius guy, and I'm lucky to have him on my side. There you go. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the GrantCast. Let me know if you like these. I don't think I'll necessarily do this every week, but maybe every other week or something like that. Try this out and see how it goes. But anyway, let me know what you think. If you like these creative chats, just talking about things that are going on behind the scenes. And thank you for watching. Thank you for, if you're watching, because the Patreons are going to be able to watch this because the behind the scenes patrons get to see a video. But if you're just listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time right here on the GrantCast. This episode of the GrantCast was made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons. Become a patron today and help support all the fun shows from Saturday Morning Media. And a special shout out to our patron producers, Dorothy Baciocco, Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Tony Urbano, Brandy, David Akers, and Vicky Sebring. If you would like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. You can also tell a friend about the show or leave the show a review wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. This episode of the GrantCast is copyright 2022 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.